Yo, good morning. How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Good to have you here as always. A little bit of a different view this morning because I'm off to the gym. I am off to the gym to work on my physical health to help my mental health. Yeah. Today, that's what we're going to talk about. Methods, techniques, practices, all that kind of good stuff that are going to help you to better navigate through life, especially if you've left a gang or MC or anything like that. It's not easy trying to figure out all the chaos that's left over from that life, as it was for me. I had to learn a lot. I had to learn a lot going into that life. When I first started hanging out with the MC, I didn't know anything about it, so I had to learn how to be part of that world. Same as with the skinhead gang. But I learned a lot of bad behaviors that didn't benefit me, and I didn't learn how to balance things out, which is what's so important. And I spent years after that learning techniques and methods to help me balance everything out, get rid of all that chaos. So today, I'm going to talk to you about a few. I'm going to share a few of my favorite methods, techniques to help balance you out and to find some peace, because that's what we all really need. First things first, we're going to head into the gym and do some exercise. And I'll tell you why exercise is important. All right. So why exercise? How does exercise help? Well, exercise does a lot of things for your physical health, which in turn helps with your mental health. Exercise raises your endorphins, it gives you that feel good because it gives you a lot of dopamine as a result. Now, if you go deep into it with exercise, once you become an experienced practitioner with mindfulness, breathing, meditation, all things like that, it actually becomes meditative. So you can go to the gym, switch off, focus on your breathing, smash out your workout, and you feel so much better afterwards. In fact, free from thought. It's pretty good. Just finished with my workout for the morning. Feel absolutely amazing. Got to work out with my friend Paulo, which is a great thing. If you can't motivate yourself to go to the gym, or you find it hard to even know how to exercise, find a gym buddy. Go with someone you know. Talk to one of your friends. Encourage them to go to the gym with you. It makes all the difference having that support and having that motivation. So get one of your mates, get several of your mates together, go join a class, go sign up at a martial arts school, boxing school, anything like that. Anything that gets your heart rate up and your endorphins pumping. It makes all the difference to your mental health. Trust me, it works for me every time. Doesn't matter how much of a shit day I've had or how dark I feel when I wake up. If I can just push myself to get to the gym, I know my day is going to be so much better for it. So yeah, done with the gym, feeling pretty good, went home, had a shower, and now I'm actually just heading out, but actually just going outside, going for a walk. It doesn't matter where, but anything that disrupts that cycle of depression or anxiety within yourself is always going to be beneficial. I know at times you probably won't feel like it, you just want to sit in your room, sit in the darkness. But trust me, make that break, get outside, makes all the difference. But then, of course, there's always going out. Going out to a cafe or a restaurant is a great way to kind of get you out of that depression. And that's exactly what I'm doing this morning by going to New Leaf Eatery. Just sat down to have breakfast at my favorite cafe in Siem Reap. Thank you. And I got my welcome drink, which is very refreshing. Actually going out, as I've said, going outside, going to have breakfast, going to meet up with friends, it definitely gives you a break from that mindset of, no, I just want to be alone. I want to be alone with my darkness. Because that's the thing, when you're sitting in a depressive state, you're not alone. You have your thoughts, and they're dark thoughts. You want to break out of that completely. In fact, when you catch yourself in that mindset, just instantly jump up. Go out, do something, or even just go to the bathroom and splash some cold water on your face. It breaks that cycle instantly. Kind of hard to be depressed when there's amazing food like this. Oh wow, just had breakfast, feel absolutely amazing. Of course, I thought I would take you to the local temple just because it was across the road. And hey, another great way to really break yourself out of that depression, feel good about yourself. Let's go to a temple, go to a church, go to a place of worship. You don't have to be religious, you don't have to be spiritual, you don't have to be anything, but if you have a need just to be around a good energy, then these are definitely the places to do it. It sounds like there's actually prayer services going on currently at the moment. In the case of this temple, they have the most amazing gardens. An absolutely beautiful place just to come and hang out. It really is. And you know what, even spending a bit of time in nature, nature is so incredibly beneficial because it's grounding. Finding a nice park or a tree to sit under actually physically grounds you, and grounding is a great release for emotional energy, believe it or not. When you sit in the earth, you let all that energy fall away. You're connecting yourself to earth and releasing that energy. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, it does actually work. Go sit on the grass, go sit under a tree for an hour, listen to the birds and just focus on your breathing. You'll feel so much better for it. And then of course, you can also get a tattoo. Yeah, it's crazy. The sounds, tattooing is a great therapy. Doing something for yourself in a positive way, making yourself feel better by getting a tattoo, does actually help a lot, trust me. Oh, and then of course, reading. Reading is also a valuable practice for when it comes to changing your mindset, getting out of the depression and stuff like that. Reading a good book, and I mean a good book, something helpful, even something educational, learn something new. It definitely helps. In fact, the first step to my practices was actually through reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and it changed my life. It gave me a whole bunch of new techniques and methods, and it gave me a better understanding of how my mind actually worked and how I got to that point. So yeah, read a book. It definitely helps. And Paulo Coelho, great writer. But the most effective techniques that I have actually learned in the last 8 years for dealing with my mental health issues, with my depression and anxiety, is breathing. Yeah, breathing. And you're like, hang on, don't we do that anyway? Yeah, no, well, no. The mind doesn't control your breathing, thankfully, because if it did, it just wouldn't have time for you to breathe. It'll be like, no, I've got to deal with all this nonsense. I've got to deal with this madness. I'll get to breathing later. What do you think when we get so worked up, our breathing just goes crazy? It's because we're not focusing on our breath. We need to bring attention to our breath when we're doing everything in life. In fact, mindfulness is just literally that. It's bringing a focus to your breath while you're doing whatever. You could be washing the dishes and you focus on your breath. Being aware of your breath and being present in that moment and whatever you're doing. You can apply this practice to every aspect of your day, from when you wake. I took that first breath. I am aware that I took that first breath. And then when you get up, mindful shower, dressing mindfully. Trust me, it works a lot easier. The amount of times I'll put my arm through the wrong hole because I'm constantly thinking of something else and not focused on what I am doing by paying attention to my breath and that moment, which is super important. So if you can get into that practice of just paying attention to your breath, it makes a massive difference. Give it a try while you watch my videos. You may see me a little bit differently. If you pay attention to the breath while you're doing anything, it really does change a lot. Which brings me to the other practice which has helped me more than anything. Meditation. Yeah, meditation. And you're like, meditation, isn't that just for like hippies and Buddhists and that kind of stuff? No, it's not. It's literally just sitting down, giving yourself some time out, focusing on your breath as you're doing mindfulness, and just letting everything go. Seeing all these thoughts that come up in your head constantly, just passing by like a fart in the wind. That's exactly how I envision it. So the practice of meditation is literally just sitting in silence, and you can do it anywhere. For me, I sit cross-legged on the floor with a bolster in my lower back to keep my back upright, so I can just have a clear path of breath, and it kind of aligns my chakras, which are your nerve meridians, which are important for the flow of energy. So whenever you're meditating or being mindful or connecting, grounding, you need to be able to have a good flow of energy through your body. And meditation will connect all the dots, essentially. So the practice of meditation is, again, paying attention to your breath. So I always sit and I focus on the breath coming in through my nose and then gently out of my mouth. And that's it. Now, a thought's going to stop? No, they're not. But they will get less and less and less the more you're able to sit and meditate. The first 10 minutes of meditation are generally a little bit chaotic. They call it monkey mind because your mind's jumping from one thought to another. It's all over the place. But then eventually that kind of calms down and you enter into a state of awareness. You're aware of everything that's going on. You're aware of your surroundings because there's not all these thoughts running through your head to clutter everything and drown out everything else around you. And then it gives you the opportunity to go in and look at a lot of the things that are causing all this madness within you. And for me, it's generally whatever happened in the day. I meditate twice a day. I meditate in the morning to kind of get myself ready for the day, start with a clear mind. And then I meditate at the end of the day, and that's just to wind myself down, process everything that's happened throughout the day, in a calm, aware state, where I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, I process that. But without that emotion, without that stress, like if something stressful happens to me, I know I can just sit down at the end of the day and process it clearly without too much thought going on. Because the problem is when something stressful happens and we start thinking about it, we overthink about it, and we overthink and we think and think and think. You can think about that one thing 1,000 times in a day, but it's not ever going to change what happened. Why? Why doesn't it change what happened? Thinking solves everything, doesn't it? It doesn't. Thinking is a great tool. The mind is an incredible, powerful tool. But when it goes a bit haywire, it's not helpful at all. It's like a good switch that gets put on and 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 on. Eventually, it just goes haywire. That's what our mind does. So meditation is a good way to sit down and allow that just to calm so you can actually process these thoughts and process what's happened. And trust me, when you first start meditating, it's not easy. It is not easy at all. And in fact, when I first started, I could probably manage 30 seconds before I was like, nah, this is too much for me. My head's just going. But then eventually, as with everything, the more I practiced it, easier it became. And I got to the point where I could meditate for an hour peacefully and just come out of that meditation feeling super refreshed and just, no chaos going on in my head. I know that everything I've dealt with during that meditation isn't going to come back up again. Not in the way that it did. It didn't run rampant. So I'm like, I'm okay with this. The most important part of any of the techniques, practices, methods, or anything you choose is consistency. Yeah. You've got to do it regularly. It's not enough just to go, okay, I've meditated once and I'm okay. No, you actually need to do these things every day. It doesn't matter if it's once or twice or 3 times a day, as long as you're doing it daily. Science has shown that rewiring your brain, your neural pathways and all that kind of stuff takes 28 days. NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, has shown that. In fact, it is a therapy technique that they use to rewire your brain, rewire your thinking. So any practices, whether it's meditation or reading or martial arts or gym or going outside, anything that you choose to do, you have to do regularly for it to work. It's the same with everything else we learn in life. You know, you want to be a badass biker, you've got to practice it every day. It's not just a couple of times a day. You'll never be a badass biker otherwise. And it goes the same for being a badass meditator. You know, working on yourself and getting past all that craziness in your head, all that craziness in your life, it takes practice. So there you go. There's a few techniques and methods that will hopefully help you as they've helped me. And if you need any further resources or advice, I'll put some in the description below. Always reach out. If you need any advice, send me a message. Always happy to help. And if you want to keep supporting me and the channel, there are many different ways you can do it. All the usual ways are down in the description below, but I just want to let you all know I now have a Patreon. Yeah, I have a Patreon so you can all support me directly. And you'll have access to a lot of really cool stuff that's only available for patrons. It won't be available on YouTube. There's a few videos that I'm working on that just will not fly on YouTube. So if you want to see them and you want to really help me, go sign up for my Patreon. Again, all the links are in the description below. So thanks so much for tuning, and I really appreciate you being here, especially this week, Mental Health Awareness Week. Had to do this video. And hopefully some of these methods and techniques may actually help you. Give them a try. Let me know if they do too. But I will see you next week. Have a great week, everyone. Peace out, and love and light to you all.